podcast. Please, down below, I want you guys to share with me if that helps your business at all, right? If that helped you at all, because I'm getting ready now. Finally, our guest was able to join us, and you guys have all been eagerly awaiting. And it's really exciting because on this show today, the point was bringing in the conversation of, right, how do we sell this pen? How do we sell the destination? Right? Especially in marketing. How do we get people to say yes to our marketing message? Or how do we also get our marketing message or get our story in the front of the right people? And what happens? What if we didn't have to just do paid for marketing? Like, what if we had ways and insider hacks to do and to break the chain of and the algorithms of Facebook? Right? And organic marketing. We all know the world has changed a lot when it comes to marketing, and the algorithms have changed so much on Facebook, on Instagram. So I decided after our conversations recently here on the Help Me Rhonda show, and how to break into more of the algorithms, how to play the game, I said, wow, I'm excited. I'm going to bring on a really special guest. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to introduce you to my guest. He's actually in France. I think he had a light outage, which is totally cool. We need to understand those because we're freedompreneurs and we are in Bali, and power goes out, lights go out all the time. But I want to introduce you guys to John because he's really a special person. He's actually an internet hacker, travel junkie. He's actually been following us for quite some time. Really special guy. Took his first solo flight at the age of 16. Wasn't even allowed to drive yet, right? He's done a lot of really cool things. Did some hacking with Tim Ferriss for our work week with outsourcing. And then he moved to London and had a lot of big shifts and changes in his business. Has traveled and visited over 71 different countries so far. And he now really dedicates what he does. He's a digital nomad, of course. He's been traveling. But what he really, truly does is he helps small business people and get the most out of social media. And whether it's paid or organic traffic, he's become really the main guy that I've been turning to for some of the insider hacks. And he's going to talk today with us about growth hacking on Facebook and gaming the algorithms. Now, I don't know about you guys, but every one of us wants to know all the time about hacks and how to game the algorithms. If that's what you want, especially if you're on Facebook Live, say yes down below while I bring on our guest, John, over here. And if you're looking at the live, it looks like he's got a bunch of balloons in front of him. I'm not sure if we're going to get a real human or if we're going to get the balloons. John, are you there, my man? Come join us. All right, I can't quite hear you, so make sure that on the bottom left that your audio's on, because I can't quite hear you. So just make sure on the bottom left that you turn your actual audio on. But this is a topic that we have been, talking about quite a bit. The algorithms, especially even on personal pages, have drastically dropped. If you were seeing before your content being in front of, your normal followers, thousands of people, let's say, or even hundreds, that were always engaging on your content, guess what? It's changed. Just like the algorithms changed with Google years ago. All right, sounds like we got some sound. Is that right, John?
Yo, sound in the house.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, that took a while. That was something else. Yeah, let me get my lights on. My lights went down.
No worries. All right, are we going to see your face or are we looking at balloons?
We're doing balloons. I'm getting the lights on 1 minute. I had I got some new lights. I got a few kilowatts extra and it blew a fuse.
No worries.
I got one of my lights is down, but I got others. Let's just get them up. Yo, all right. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry. Whoa, let's get going. All right.
There we go. All right, great to have you on the show today.
Balloons are just about pattern interrupt, that's all. Okay. Oh boy, let's turn these down. These are hot. Wow. There's a lot of kilowatts here. No wonder it went down. All right, I'm just going to turn these down. All right, is that better?
Yeah, you look great. We're live, so let's rock and roll, my man.
Okay, let's go. Sorry about that, guys. Apologies. A few issues with my electricity and lighting and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's all good. It's really great to have you. you know, it's so cool. John always comes with so much wisdom, and on his Facebook page, he drops bombs every day. And I swear, I'm like, every time going, dang it, I just got to stay up to date with John because he knows all the insights. So, John, why don't you share a little bit even more deeply about, more specifically what you do and how you are in the inside and why you have the inside secrets. And everyone's really excited to learn from you today. I'm watching us on live. We got a lot of people really super pumped that you're here. So, what's happening? Where are you coming from? Where are you getting all these knowledge bombs from, John?
Oh, long story, too much to put into this, but long story short, advent of the internet back in 1991. Obviously, it was invented in America, but the World Wide Web was put together in 1991. And me and my mates were really excited about it because it was all over the news, right? And we were kind of like junkies for the old cyborg culture, like Neuromancer and, all that stuff, sort of mech and humans meshing together. And we really got into that in a big way. And there were sort of novels about that. And then obviously there were films like Blade Runner and stuff like that. So we got into that. And then as soon as the first internet cafe came out in London, we were down there. And one of my mates was working at Virgin. And Chris Branson, he's not one for like missing out on trends. He's usually one of the first.
Right.
Now, I must say, I ended up on Chris Branson's island, Necker Island, but I'm going to tell you about that in a minute because that's linked to what I'm going to say about groups and, networking and stuff like that. But at the time, my mates were working for Chris Branson on one of the first kind of like internet websites out there, right? And there weren't that many firms getting on the internet in 1991. That was the day of the old dial-up modems. You probably know about Rhonda, right? Those,
totally.
based on the phone, and they took a while to get online. They were so slow; it was unbelievable. But yeah, we hung out. We really wanted to travel, and we didn't have the money. So it's like everybody who's young has that yearning to get out there and travel. But it's one of those problems. Like you've got a sense of adventure. You want to use your energy. You want to get out there. You want to see the world. But you've got to get a job. If you're not at university, you've left university, but then you've got to start earning money. And how do you get around that? So we had this dream about being on top of like a mountain with our laptop, like in the Himalayas, or on a beach with our laptop back in 1993. That's when I graduated from university in 93, right? And my mates were still at Virgin. And, the first internet cafe took off in London, Siberia. And we were hanging out there. And we kind of got this kind of idea of, the internet culture. We had the digital nomad idea in our brains. It wasn't called that then. We didn't know what it was called.
Oh, no. I mean, when we started traveling, we were the godfather parents of the digital nomad families, and no one even heard the word yet. We didn't even have a name for it, right?
Right.
It's only been 11 years, and it seems so mainstream now, but it's only been 11 years. It's crazy.
Now it's a movement, and it's the future. I mean, that's what I love about Honolulu. I mean, she is the future, right? Yeah. There's going to be so many more Honolulus later, but it'll take a while for them to wake up. Seriously, they're still waking up. Yeah,
I agree with you. It's so true. And I love that. And I love this discussion about that. And that's really why, John, 13 years ago for me, it was in 05, I realized I better jump on this train, being a corporate executive. I better jump on this internet train now and figure it out. And I started hacking Google ads right back then. Of course, a couple of years later, Google started to do the big Google slap, they call it. And so now
I had mates who went down because of that. And then later the Apple slap. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But yeah, carry on. So the Google slap, did it affect you?
Oh, big time. I was sitting with a credit card on my knee and just put, running little Google ads, and all of a sudden that's all I did. I'm like, whoa, what's happened? Like, I'm spending thousands and not getting any leads. And like, whoa, we got a big problem. Right?
Exactly.
We got to shift.
People don't realize this. The Google slap actually put a lot of people out of business, and it took a lot of food out of families' mouths. A lot of kids went without food. I mean, people had to change, their business and stuff. And, it was very painful. It was really bad because they just did it like that on a second without even warning anybody. And that's what Apple did too. And very few people know that about the Apple slap. I was a victim of that.
What was the Apple slap? I'm not quite sure what that is.
Well, you know, I got into apps. Oh, there's so much to tell here. I mean, I can't.
Well, we only got 20 minutes left on this show, so we got to get to it.
But yeah, oh boy, there's so much here. Yeah, I was going to give a really good detailed tutorial today on, you know, sort of like, you know, Facebook hacking. I've got a lot of info to share because I'm connected with the Facebook Insider, and it's fantastic.
Well, why don't we just dig into that? Because I know that's what my audience is like so ready for. We really got them ready.
I think because of the delay today, I think what I'm going to do is a detailed tutorial. I'm going to drop it for you, right? Whatever way you want to do it, live or like, you know, sort of video, whatever. I'll give you the info. I just don't know if I can cram it in today because, you know, the amount of time, but I'm going to do the best I can. I got lots of nuggets to drop, lots of gold value bombs. But awesome. the Apple slap. Okay, so I put a lot of money into apps, and I actually managed to find, I was very lucky to find an angel investor. And he invested a couple of K, you know, 10, 20K in my business. And it's so hard to find investors these days because everybody wants to do it, right? So angel investors are dishing out the money, but everybody wants it, right? Hang on.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found one, and I got 20K, and I put it into my apps business, and I started that in Chiang Mai in 2010. I left, let's see, I left Britain. I'm from London. I left there in 2007 to go traveling. Just a bit of back history here before I come with the app story, right? A bit of back history. My mates who are really into, you know, sort of the internet and the idea of being on top of like the Himalayas or something with a laptop, going down to the village later in the evening and then uploading it to the internet. We couldn't do that because the internet wasn't ready enough worldwide. That was the only thing stopping us. It was connectivity, and it took ages for the internet to actually go global enough, the World Wide Web, as it were, and to be able to get pages online around the world. You know, I was traveling anyway. You know, regardless of the internet, I was doing it. I mean, I've been to 71 countries to date. 71. Yeah. I'm getting my retirement plan sorted out because I'm here in France right now in this house. I'm property developing. Guys, if you ain't doing it, you've got to get into property because, you know.
All right, so let's get to the Facebook
elections. Look where the US is going at the moment, Donald Trump and all that. And he's spending big time on Facebook ads, and we know that Facebook ads work. I know, don't I know? Exactly. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, let's focus there because we only have a very finite amount of time. And
yeah.
We can help everyone learn more about your deeper story is, you know, because we talk so much here about what does it take to build a sexy brand, and there's very specific things. Right now, sexy brand means understanding how to hack the algorithms and how to tap into Facebook, how to tell the right story. So let's jam that because everyone's like sitting at the edge of their seat going,
okay. All right. So there's a lot to condense in here. Let's just go on the fly here. I was going to write a tutorial, but let's just go, you know, organic.
Yeah, just why don't you get the top like 5 or 6 hacks that are really apparent.
All right. I had so many lined up here. All right. So okay, so we all know that things change a lot because of you know, the data issues, you know, with and you know, sort of Cambridge Analytica, and also the Trump campaign last time, right? So you know, Zuck was hauled in front of Congress, and he had to, you know, sort of accept a few things and eat a little bit of humble pie, but he's been at it again since then. Let's be honest. And so things have changed a lot. So that means ostensibly the fallout from that, without going into detail, is that business pages are dead. They're dead.
Totally dead.
Right. I mean,
unless I'm live. Unless I'm online, it's crickets.
Right. Okay, it's crickets. That's it. So if you want organic and you want to get the best bang for your reach, you know, you have to go organic. You basically what I'm talking about today is basically putting your business onto your profile page, right? So that's what I've done. And a lot of my followers have asked me, they've said, look, I know you do Facebook ads, but they're expensive. I'm trying to get a business going and I want to travel the world like you, but I haven't got the money. How do I get started? Okay, so they keep bugging me. The ones who keep bugging me the most are the ones who are desperate to be able to do the same thing but haven't got the actual budget. So I thought at last I finally am doing a course for them now. I'm actually writing the course, and you can't do the course these days without actually, you know, proving it yourself. So I'm going out there and being the best example. And I decided to actually, you know, sort of use, I have many profiles, by the way. I'm a hacker. I hack things. Hacking as in good, not as in hacking as in bad, you know, Michael Jackson.
Right, I get it. So you're saying that some people should actually put their business on their personal profile. Okay,
yeah.
well, let's stop you right
it
there.
It works big time. I've just, let's
Hold
say,
on, let's
10
stop you
grand,
right there.
10 grand. Last 6 weeks, 10 grand just doing that. 10 grand
Hold on.
in my course.
Hold on, I got that. That's great. Congratulations. But this is something that has been very, very apparent. I've actually been teaching my people opposite because Facebook is slapping and shutting down personal profiles for marketing.
No. They only do that for a few, because remember how many people there are on Facebook. This is what you got to know.
What is the actual hack on how to hide through that and how to be protected? Because I just had a client that got their complete profile shut down for marketing on their, and marketing their business and using marketing links and business links. Their whole profile got shut down. And they said it was because you're doing business on your profile page. So there is a risk. There is a risk, I must say. And entrepreneurs are risk takers, right? And at the end of the day, we've got insight from a Facebook insider, and we get access about once a month roughly. He's really difficult to actually contact and get information from because he's very busy. As you can imagine, he's got a lot of people to feed info to. But at the end of the day, there's only so many humans that actually enforce Facebook's policies. All right, so it depends on how much of a risk taker you want to be. All right, so you know, mostly we're talking about 2.3 billion, right? So 2.3 billion Facebook users, and most of them are enforced by bots. And the actual humans, Zuckerberg actually admitted, according to our source, that he only accepts a certain number of real humans that are actually able to perform the job of being privileged to be a Facebook. All right. So let me I'm gonna condense it. So you're saying that if you've got a business, we know that unless you're running ads, it's dead, right? Unless you're running ads, it's dead on a business page. So now if you want to be strategic and a little bit risky, you can start marketing on your personal, but there's ways to do it specifically. Now, I'm gonna have you a couple links in posts. Would you suggest keeping them in the post or putting them in the comments? I found when I put a link in my post, it doesn't get seen by my audience any longer. I've started to put my posts, my links in the comments, and my stuff is being seen more. So it seems as if we're being flagged with links because they know that you're trying to pull people away from them.
Definitely.
You got it?
That's spot on. Spot on. Okay. I don't need to say anymore. Comments is where it's at. As soon as you put a post, put a little dot in a comment to reserve your spot. And then what I do is I go and do a tag bubble later, right? I'll come back to that. You've got to reserve your spot in the top because you can put any announcement in there, just like you do in a group. You know, you tag the post, it goes up the top.
So say this again, let's be clear, because I want everyone to understand what you're saying. I want everyone to understand what you're saying. You're saying when you're going live, let's say, would you suggest going live on your personal?
Because live is always best. Live is really good.
That's where the juice comes from. And you're saying secure a comment spot so it stays at the top.
Definitely. Okay. You can do what you like with it, but you can always edit it. I know they give edit history, but nobody reads that. Just do what you want.
Okay.
You know, really, I've got to tell you guys, Facebook are so busy because they only restrict most of the resources to a few humans that they're not going to ever be able to enforce everything, right? So I just want to say before I carry on, everything I teach is based on one caveat. You've got to back everything up. You've got to think about this. Think about being an entrepreneur who goes to a marketplace, right? You take everything in your van. You go to a market, you basically put everything out, and you've got to be where your people are. You've got to find your actual avatar, and you've got to put yourself and your message in front of them, wherever they are. If they're in the street walking past your shop, old school style, right? We basically learn a lot from old school marketing.
Absolutely.
Right. So you want to put your message, you want to put your billboard out there so people trip over it, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's how you use your profile page. Now I've got several. I've got over 10. I really don't give a shit. Sorry, I don't give a
So
shit.
I said you can swear on the show. That's all right. I do. All right, so I get
I
this.
do all the time, always have done, but I know some shows I can't.
Well, this is a really good insider, because it is very risky, because we did have a client that did lose their complete profile page, but again, they were being very aggressive, and there was links, and it was going
Right. There's a reason for it. Yeah. You've got to balance things. You shouldn't be too aggressive. You've got to balance things, and you've got to have a VA or somebody backing up everything all the time. Because think about the market stall. You put everything in your van, you go to the marketplace, you put your billboard in the street. That is so effective. I did a bit of marketplace thing as real research in the real world, right? And it worked a ton. And I tell you how I managed to get like 10 times what my competitors were doing, just by calling out all the time. You call out your audience, call them out, use your voice, always use stories like you do, Rhonda. I see your stories up there all the time, boss.
When you say call them out, so what do you mean? Because I love this, but I don't understand what you mean by calling them out, meaning like you present material that is like confronting, or you have them respond.
Find your avatar and then just shout their name. So I mean, I basically, at the moment, I'm doing digital marketing, right? Because I'm showing my followers how I can make, I've already made, what did I say, 10 grand? Yeah. So I've been doing it for 6 weeks only. I've been doing organic, without any budget at all, to prove to my followers that with no money, I can start again. You know how Russell Brunson did that thing recently. What happens if you start again with no money?
I was in the book. I wrote a chapter.
Yo! I saw that. I read that. It's fantastic. I love your.
I wrote a chapter and I turned it into my own book.
So good. Oh, fucking awesome, man.
Right? That's a powerful thing. So what would you do? So for you, let's share that. What would you start on your program?
I'm doing it now. That's what I decided. That's inspired me to do this. But I'm writing my course now to show that I'm going to create a bubble where I have no money, no budget. I've got that behind the scene, but I'm not going to draw on that, right? I'm not drawing on that. I'm writing my course based on no money, and I've already made 10 grand in 6 weeks, right?
Okay, so that means that you have a great offer. Okay, so we can talk about what you've done with money, but that means there was a great offer. So what kind of offer then were you making? So anyone can start over if you got a clear message, a clear story,
right?
And you got a great offer.
So there's so much to tell here. I could deliver it to you in various ways. You know, in a recording.
Well, we really wanted to hit today.
Let's do some nuggets. Okay, CRM. Use Facebook as your CRM. Boom.
What does that mean? Say that again.
Advanced now.
Say this again, because everyone. Okay, come on. John's faster than I am, I think. And I try to be like clear, but he is like super fast. So CRM, right?
I've got so much info. I just, if you want it, I'll give it. I love you, Rhonda. I've been following you since 2010. You got it. You want info from me. I love it.
But this is what's so important, because I want everyone to hear it. Because I want to know what you mean by this. CRM is like your email. It's like collecting.
Yeah. Right? Fuck that. It's so expensive. Don't use them.
How are they doing that? How are they using Facebook?
You go along to the Friends tab. Basically, okay, if you're on desktop now, look at your Facebook and go to the top bar. Go to the left-hand side, right? Okay, that's which way is on the video, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you find the Facebook logo. Click on it. Then you get the margin, which shows you all the crap in your Facebook profile. Go down. Then you have to probably click on something like See More. And then when you click on See More, you can find your lists. This is beautiful. Facebook has upgraded your list to be dynamic, right? They're now basically giving you lists of all your people that you're at college with in a list. I mean, I've been around on the internet since it was invented, right? So we're talking about Friends Reunited. Do you remember that, Rhonda? I was on that. I was on, what was it called before Facebook? Help me out here. MySpace?
I never was on MySpace.
Because cricket's there if you're not a musician, right? We all left. As soon as we found out from our college friends that Facebook's where it's at because it has all these extra features. Yeah. Let's not forget Zuckerberg stole Facebook. I shouldn't say this on Facebook, but he did steal the concept. He was employed to do a job and he ran away with it. Go and see the film.
All right, so I want to get clear for everyone, because I want everyone to understand this. So you're telling everyone to go to where it says your friends, and it gives like who's in your list. How are you actually collecting or curating that kind of list and leveraging it and using it?
Curating is the word. Okay, so always see Facebook profile as transient, right? The great thing about it is you can actually get underneath the radar, right? By connecting. I'm connecting now to hundreds of businesses in America. 90% of my clients since the last 6 weeks, I'm doing a 6-week experiment so far, 90% are from USA. Now, they see me requesting to friend them, and they just think I'm another buddy. You know, they want to boost up their friend list, and they say yes. And then I just, you know, never ever sell immediately, just warm them up.
There, that's a great one. Then you're just providing tons of value, and then they're like, whoa, I like that. Okay, so this is a big thing. So use Facebook as your CRM, leverage your profile. If you're needing to start over, you don't have a lot of budget, you want to beat the algorithms, clearly, unless you're paying for marketing, stay with a soft sell, yet a direct defined sell the pen, basically what I was telling earlier.
I love that. You know, that's one of my favorite films. Wolf of Wall Street would be an epic, really. You've got to rewatch that over and over if you want to make money online. At the end of the day, you understand this, Rhonda, because I saw your amazing video way back in 2010. You and your husband on a beach.
Yeah.
And I never forgot that. And but that's what inspired me about you. And whenever I felt like giving up, I just thought, I can be unstoppable.
Well, unstoppable. We could do it, right?
Right.
I love it.
Every time I thought about giving up, I thought about the unstoppable family. I'm going to be unstoppable. There's a way. There's always a way. Flip it. Hack it. Hack it.
Exactly. I love it. We call ourselves the unstoppable cockroaches. We're like, look, no one is going to, even if you try to step on us, we are coming back. I don't care what happens. We're doing it. Right? Because no matter what, but I think that's like such a great, just a great way to live and to know no matter what, especially if you understand certain ways, like on the internet, how to hack it. I could start over any day and just keep sharing my vision and finding the right people, right? I mean, going to groups, sharing your story.
Absolutely. Oh, I've got so much magic to tell you about groups. You've got to get into groups. And also, oh boy, whenever you have a bad day, flip it and think about what you can do today to benefit tomorrow. So when I had a bad day in Bali, I went there for a mastermind back in 2010, and then everybody left and they went back to LA, you know, film directors and business people and all that, coaches. And I was back. I loved the place. So I didn't leave. I went there for, you know, the retreat, the mastermind, and I couldn't leave. It was just so fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great.
What did I do? I went and did a photo survey of the whole of Ubud. All right, so this is just a little secret. I've got a whole business plan just based on Ubud, right? So, you know, businesses, I'm Foursquare, all that, but I don't want to say too much, but I've got a photograph of every single shop front in Ubud, which...
A lot more now.
You just give us a geolocation in Ubud, I'll show you the photo.
Super funny. Well, it's a great place to be.
I made a lot of connections, right? Connections are important. Network is important, right? So I thought ahead.
I think that can lend to your topic on, you know, leaning on your profile page a bit and sharing value, and then leveraging the people, like finding the right people and then interacting with them appropriately and appropriately.
Connections. Okay, let's quickly talk about groups. If you haven't got into groups, you've got to do it quickly because Facebook will charge for groups later. Source. My Facebook source, definitely groups monetized later. Don't know when. You won't tell me, right? So much information, then he stops. They will be monetized. Get in now. Groups are big money. I've got over 50. I've been using groups since I was on Facebook back in 2008.
How the heck do you manage 50 groups?
No, I don't manage them. Some of them are just business connections. Some of them are just clients. You know, use them as a space. Like if you go to Upwork, I'm an Upwork fan. I used to be on Upwork. Like I was outsourcing, like I said, to India and the Philippines back in 2003. And then as soon as Upwork got really good, Odesk at the time, I was on there. It's brilliant. And Skype was fantastic because you can just basically copy your whole conversation, and every single message is time stamped, right? So you've got a contract with your outsourcer, and you can always remind them what they said and they have to deliver, etc. And I've written my own software where I basically take screenshots of my outsourcer's actual, screens. There's a whole reason why I do that, but they know when they come onto a contract with me that they're going to be screenshotted every 10, 20, 12 minutes randomly.
Yeah, Time Doctor. I love Time Doctor for that as well. We actually, it allows you to kind of watch. We had a couple people who were watching movies while we were, they were working for us.
Absolutely.
We rolled back the tape. I'm like, whoa, that's not going to work. But anyways, all right, so
So
listen, John, I know that you've got so much more content to deliver, and I think that
too much.
no matter what, there was a big highlight today, which was, look, if you're starting over, start using your profile page, be a bit more
Definitely,
organic,
definitely. Back everything up. Use your outsourcers always to back everything up. Remember, market store
backing up.
mentality. Everything's transient, right? So you don't use it. You don't use it like like this. You have your bastion, your HQ. Just
Yeah,
use it.
that is the challenge too, certainly, right? Facebook, everything's trying to transit. All of a sudden it's gone. But if you're a wise
It might be,
marketer, now we
but
use
that's unlikely. 2.3
right? Like
billion.
this
Whatever.
alone, this is live. Then I'm going to download it. It's going to go up to YouTube. And then it's going to go on to a podcast. Then I'm going to send it to the email, right? So even though in the beginning people get, oh, there's only crickets on my lives. Who cares about the crickets? Let's get the flock that you're going to bring on your own because you're going to shout at the top of the mountain that says, I just did a live. Go look at it, right?
When you hear crickets, find out a way to roll over because there's always somewhere else you can. And I do that with LinkedIn, right? Yeah. I'm doing software right now, just quickly. This is another subject. It's not highlighted in this post, but it's really good to reach, sort of business people, like even just local businesses in the USA. And I'm here in France and I'm connecting with these people just by posting on my LinkedIn. But how do I engage with them, right? So you just put lots of posts out there. Yeah. And, you've got to basically, like you do, you present yourself, as an authority, right? And you keep doing that and it really works. It doesn't take long. I mean,
it doesn't take long. I think the consistency is what matters the most. I've actually just started to tap into LinkedIn as well, John, because, right, we run our agency for branding, and then we've got our Unstoppable Family, the travel side, and our little academy over there. But I'm like, so where are my people, right? I got my travelers that love Unstoppable Family, but on my branding agency side, I need to get in front of the business owners, the ones that need brand makeovers, the ones that need media kits. Oh my God.
Right? Rhonda, you're going to make so much money by doing what you've done on Facebook. Move it to LinkedIn times 10. Boom. So I know where you're coming from. I know your stuff. I've been watching you. I've been watching a lot of shit. You're going to make a lot of money on LinkedIn. And I tell you what, I'm actually working on an app now, which is massive for LinkedIn engagement. And we're talking about 10,000 likes and, like 30 to 40 comments on each post by creating a pod, right? So I do this with groups in Facebook. I get a whole lot of people in my group and we do a LinkedIn, we do a Facebook train. You know what that is. Now I'm doing LinkedIn trains with my pod. So it's completely legal. It's completely kosher. I'm an app developer. I write code. I'm doing this pod on LinkedIn with a whole load of other marketers in my field, and we're helping each other out. How do you say it, Rhonda? Reciprocity. I can't say it.
Reciprocity.
That's the way it's going in the next 10 years. Be there.
It is. You're right. Well, let me know when you want me to join into that group. I'd be happy to join in with you.
Definitely. It's coming. Well, I'm already there. It's doing the biz. Get me on LinkedIn. Get me on Facebook. Rhonda, I know where you are. You guys are fantastic. And any other nuggets want me to drop in any area, in other areas? Just.
Yeah, I think, what we're going to do, because we're at the top of the hour, what I'd like to do, because John, you're so valuable and you've got so much incredible information. And I learn from John every post he makes. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, thank you, John. I tell my team, I tell my tribe, like, okay, updates. Look what I just learned, right? Because I don't know everything, but I always tap into you because you got that insider. So why don't you mind sharing with everyone how they should find you more directly so they can get the drop bombs that you leave. And then we can do a follow-up as well, and more specific like you mentioned.
Well, the way it's going more than ever is authenticity. It's so important, right? Like my hat, right? Keep it 100. You've got to connect with people. If you really want to, it depends what model you're following, but the one I'm doing at the moment, is basically you connect with people live, just talk to them, and then engage, and then you slowly show them what your offer is, right? And so I'm demonstrating Facebook, I'm demonstrating LinkedIn for this. Those are the two areas you can connect me on. And I'm open to make friends with anybody who wants to PM me. I'll chat with you. We'll connect.
Awesome. Well, what we'll do then, Jen. Yeah, we're going to drop how to find you on Facebook inside of the chats here if we're live on Facebook, and I'll also put it into the notes for our podcast. And if there's any other location, do you have a direct website that can maybe get some of your freebies or any?
I've got several websites, but I'm not disclosing those at the moment. So at the moment, I'm just focusing. I'm a hacker. I hack shit. I've got 10 Facebook profiles. I've got about 6 businesses. At the moment, I'm just promoting this one.
I love it. Well, I love it. Awesome.
Connect with me directly. I can show you those, but you have to go through me.
Right on. Excellent. Well, I appreciate it. What we're going to do, there's going to be a number of different, there's comments and people are like, wow, this is cool. They want to get a little bit more details from you. So I'll make sure that we drop John's details on how to find him on Facebook, how to find you on LinkedIn as well. And I know that they're going to learn a lot more from you. Just because I do every single day. So I want to thank you so much for being here, my man. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And I am going to leave everyone with this. If you're going to create a brand, create a sexy brand. And if you're going to be anything, be unstoppable. See you guys next week. Thanks again, John. Cheers, everyone.